As I like to say in nearly every introductory PPLI discussion, PPLI is not all rainbows, unicorns, and pixie dust. Now, I've got 5 daughters. That's really the best analogy I've got, so forgive me. But there are legitimate downsides to PPLI, and no wonder. If it was really the perfect asset strategy, you and all your clients and friends would all own it already, and I'd be retired. So let's dig in and explore some of those downsides. Downside number 1, investor control. This is the big one. The investor control doctrine states that the policy owner cannot directly control or direct the investment positions within the PPLI contract. For example, they can't call their investment professional and tell them, buy Apple, sell Tesla. However, what they can do is create an investment policy statement that outlines general or specific investment goals, and they can amend it as often as they want. Also, the policy owner can specifically select and manage any investment manager approved by the insurance carrier. This is what we discussed earlier as the SMA. Or they can pick specific funds that are pre-approved by the insurance company. These are commonly known as insurance dedicated funds, or IDFs for short. Many investors have a hard time letting go, and this is probably the biggest reason people don't implement PPLI. Downside number 2, cash premium payments. Despite many offshore promoters telling you otherwise, you can't transfer assets in kind as premium payments. The IRS views this as an immediate breach of investor control. Cash premiums are required by every US-based insurance company, and this can be a deal breaker for some, or at least seen that way. Selling assets and paying tax today can deter investors, especially those with large positions and a low cost basis. That's why we've built a modeling tool to accurately quantify the cost of tax. And in many cases, it's still worth doing, paying tax today to avoid a lifetime of taxes. Downside number 3, medical underwriting. In order to buy PPLI, you must first qualify medically. It's life insurance after all. While this isn't a deal breaker for most, it can be a bit of a hassle. While our white glove concierge underwriting service is the best in the business and makes it easy for our clients, they're still going to have to complete an insurance exam to get a PPLI policy. So now that we understand the downsides, investor control, cash premiums, and medical underwriting, let's discuss where it breaks. And by breaks, what we mean is that the PPLI structure could fail, leading to adverse tax consequences. There are 2 instances where PPLI breaks. The first is violating the investor control doctrine, which we just spoke about. And the second is failing the diversification requirements under Section 817H of the Internal Revenue Code. The reality is, with a competent team, both of these are easy to navigate, but let's unpack them just a bit more. We talked at length about investor control, and it's the only such example of a PPLI policy that has failed. It's a well-known case called Weber, and in this case, the owner excessively instructed his investment advisor on specific trades. The IRS found out and successfully challenged the PPLI structure. An oversimplification of the diversification test can be met as long as no more than 55% of the total assets inside of the PPLI account represent one investment, 70 for 2, 80 for 3, and 90 for 4. Really, you just need a diversified portfolio. Importantly, the PPLI owner isn't penalized for investment growth regarding diversification. Even substantial growth won't trigger a violation. So, as we've discussed, there are some downsides to PPLI, as well as a couple of very important rules to follow. These limitations are important and should be managed carefully. While PPLI is incredibly powerful, having a team that's prepared to manage these is critical to avoiding unnecessary tax consequences many years down the road. In our next video, we'll discuss the most talked about issue with PPLI, the regulatory risks. Thanks for watching.